I'll just run my hand.
Okay. Alright. Action! Sorry, these are our clickers. Hey guys. This is week 2 of our testimony series. We pre-recorded all these in case we're stuck at home, shelter in place, but I'm excited to have Sarah here. Sarah is excited to be here, I think.
Yeah, always.
Okay. We're thinking about lunch right now.
Certainly. It's like a gloomy day.
Yes. So yeah, we've been doing testimonies, and you guys have been connecting on the Bible app, and that's been super awesome. Hopefully you're getting some of the postcards. But yeah, Sarah, why don't you just share your testimony, but I want her to do something a little unique. Next week, and what you heard from Carl last week was about what's going on now. Sarah, will you share about what your experience was in 6th to 8th grade?
Okay, so first of all, middle school Sarah was something else. Like, she was not who current Sarah is now. But yeah, I went through a lot in middle school that really shaped me as a person, and it was a time when my parents got divorced, and there was a lot of different tension in my immediate family and extended family, stuff like that. And so I had grown up in kind of half and half Christian environment, half and half not really acknowledging the sovereignty of God. And so we would go to church on Easter and Christmas Eve, and that was kind of it. But then my brothers and I were raised going to a Christian school. And so at school, I experienced this community of other believers who were engaging with the Word, and I was growing from them. But then at home, it wasn't quite as emphasized, which was really kind of like a reverse dynamic of most Christian kids.
Okay, so you said kind of in your story that you struggled with difficult things, and what would you say to a middle school student who is struggling with difficult things? What would you say to that student? How would you encourage them?
I would say, if I was able to look back and tell myself one thing, kind of like that, I would say, just remember to have hope that's planted in, the Word and in the Lord, and not just circumstances, because it's so easy to be clouded by, what's directly around us and what we're suffering from right now. But then we have hope that goes beyond that in Jesus, and we have the hope of eternity. Oh, the sun's coming through right now. Yeah, we have that hope that, God is faithful like the sun. He's going to shine on us. Stuff like that. And so, yeah, we can have encouragement knowing that we have a God who walks with us not only now, but He's walking us into something better in the future.
Yeah. And when we discussed beforehand, you kind of gave some really good advice to the middle schoolers about something that if you could go back and as a Christian in 6th, 8th grade, you would do this. What was the thing that you kind of talked about?
I would encourage you guys to live out the gospel and to speak it super boldly, because for me it was going going home. I wish I was more bold about my faith, and I wish I had brought up more questions I had about the Word, and brought up conversations that could help be transformational. But for maybe some of you guys have a family of believers at home, but at school or on your sports teams you don't have that. So I would say in those circumstances, be bold about your faith and bring up those tough conversations. Introduce people to the person of Jesus and talk to them about what you believe, because just us being bold and sharing something that we believe in, then the Lord can move through that and change lives.
So now you had this really broken Sarah in middle school. Now you're telling broken Sarah to be bold about her faith.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that sharing the difficulties of your life is important in sharing your testimony or sharing this hope that you have with others?
Yeah, I think that when we recognize that we're broken, it's so much easier to see who Jesus is as a healer. If we just admit that we all need to be fixed, then we can see in our own strength, in my own strength as a 7th grader, I couldn't have fixed my circumstances. And so now looking back, I see how God did, and He gets all the glory, and that's really cool. And I like what Pastor David says on Sunday mornings, how we don't come in with a church face and everything is good, everything is holy, and then we leave and we're broken, but we come to this place and we are broken together, and then we give all the glory to God who is our healer.
Absolutely. Okay, so tough question. This is probably the toughest question I've asked anybody. ever. It's a tough one. I was asked in high school by a friend of mine who I invited to Frython. Actually, he was asking me. He was kind of bold about it. Asked my friend to Frython. Said, "Hey, come to Frython," and his response was, "Church is only for broken people." So how do you respond to somebody who is so adamant about not going to church because they think it's all just broken people and they think they're totally fine?
That's actually a really tough question, and I've been kind of struggling with that, but I think that we have to recognize that we are all broken. And like we talked about earlier, like Tom Hanks, we thought he was perfect and he got coronavirus. So that just shows that like every person is broken and needs the healing power of Jesus. But then also we don't stay in that brokenness, and church just isn't a place where we gather all of our broken pieces and leave it there. But it's a place where we do find healing, and then we get to have joy and we get to have like so much fun. And on Friday nights we have a time of family groups and being honest and real with each other, but we also have a time of playing dodgeball and like experiencing the gift of joy that comes from God. And in James 1:17 he reminds us that every good and perfect gift is from above. And so all the fun and the laughter and the breaking of disco balls that we have on Friday night, R.I.P. moment of silence, all that fun that we get to have is directly a gift from God. And so it's more than just us coming together and being broken.
Yeah, absolutely. And so check out James 1. Talks a lot about both the joy and the suffering and the difficulties of life, and the fact that we really get this unique blend when we're Christians. And so I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think you have just a powerful testimony of who God has shaped you to be. Everyone thinks you're this goofy, funny, joyful person, and you have a really hard past. Like there's a lot that you walked through and struggled with, but that has made you more of a strong believer